I'm like, dope me.
How sports became a casino. This is actually disturbing. Imagine opening your phone at 2 in the morning. There's no major soccer match happening, no championship, no packed stadiums, no screaming crowds. But there's still a game. Players running across a tiny indoor court, a ball bouncing against the floor. Someone scores, nobody celebrates. And a few seconds later, another match begins. Then another, and then another. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Sports betting is becoming a literal casino. 365 days a year. At first glance, it looks like sports, but the more you watch, the more strange it becomes. Some of these games aren't being created for fans. They're being created because somebody, somewhere, wants something to bet on. And that raises a much bigger question. How did we get to a point where gambling doesn't just follow sports anymore, but sports are being created to follow gambling? Chapter 1, the game that never stops. One example is something called sub-soccer. It's a strange version of soccer being played in a confined space. I've watched clips of these matches where players move the ball around, scoring goal after goal, but something immediately stands out. There are no screaming fans, there's no enormous stadium, the television crowd reacting to every shot, it's not there. And sometimes, after a goal, the player simply resets. No celebration, no dramatic reactions, just another play, another goal, another reset. Then you find other variations. 5-on-5 soccer, 4-on-4, 3-on-3, 2-on-2, cricket, basketball, blackjack, you name it. Table tennis. There's different variations of sports most people have never even heard about, and some are available around the clock. These are sometimes described as sports betting farms. The important distinction of this is these aren't necessarily fake people. The games can involve real athletes, the ball's real, the scoreboard is real, the results are real, but the surrounding ecosystem is fundamentally different from traditional sports. The primary audience may not be sitting in a stadium, it may be sitting at home with a phone in hand and a betting slip in the other. Chapter 2, when gambling stopped waiting for sports. And this didn't appear overnight. For years, gambling was something people had to seek out. You went to the casino, you bought a lottery ticket, you placed a bet with a bookmaker. But smartphones changed the equation. Now, casinos can sit inside of your pocket. And once sports betting became available online, almost any live sports betting could potentially become another opportunity to place a wager. You could be watching a game and bet on the winner, bet on the score, bet on individual players, and then place another wager before the previous one has even fully sunk in.
If you see the drug addict, you see him, he's shooting up or whatever it is, and you see him fainting, you go, oh, that poor bastard. But when you see a guy who's fully in the grips of gambling, trying to figure out how to get his money back, and he's all jazzed up with adrenaline, he doesn't understand why.
It's just like cocaine, it's just like drug abuse, it's just like the opiate problem, it's just like anything else. It could you and I both know people who have lost their lives gambling.
The results is a gambling environment that doesn't require you to make a special trip anywhere. It's already sitting in your pocket. Chapter 3, the influencer problem. Here's where things get even more complicated, because gambling isn't being advertised by traditional commercial companies anymore. It's being delivered through people, influencers, streamers, creators, sports personalities. Online personalities already have an audience that trusts them, and that's powerful. A stranger on television tells you to gamble, you recognize that immediately as advertising, right? But when somebody that you trust tells you to gamble, you kind of trust that a little bit more personally. It could feel like you're getting advice from somebody that you know. A 2025 UK Gambling Commission study found that among young people who followed gambling-related content on social media or streaming platforms, 31% said influencers, creators, and streamers they follow had advertised gambling content to them. And the exposure wasn't evenly distributed. The figure was higher among boys than girls. That matters because researchers are increasingly concerned about young men being exposed to betting messages at an extraordinary frequency.
Watch this game. I'll show you later. I did like a 10-leg parlay. If I hit this one for real, I'll be good.
You stole me money. You owe me anything?
Nah, dude. I invested all my money into the parlay I told you about. You gotta invest. Scared money don't make money, so you gotta starve sometimes.
I had a feeling, but I didn't know he was gonna get this many rebounds, so I went with my gut. But I should have.
You shoulda, coulda, woulda.
For a
Why did I bet on those fucking Bucks, bro? You 7 foot, bro. Bobby! Hey, I'm about to be rich.
In 2026, researchers studying more than 1,800 sports bettors in Ontario and Alberta found that men under 30 experienced more than 50% greater gambling-related harm and 44% higher anxiety compared with broader sports betting population in study. And 77% of young men surveyed reported seeing sports betting advertising weekly. 60% said that those advertisements influence their betting behavior. Those numbers don't mean every person exposed to the advertising will develop a gambling problem, but they do show something important. The advertisement is reaching the exact demographic the industry has a huge incentive to attract. Young people, online, sports-focused, and consistently connected through their phones. Gambling is everywhere. Think about how different this is from gambling 20 years ago. You could watch a hockey game without having a betting account. You could watch basketball without being told the odds every few minutes. Today, gambling messages can appear on screens, broadcasts, social media feeds, websites, stadiums, and digital advertising. Researchers studying gambling advertising during NHL and NBA broadcasts found 4,119 gambling messages across 5 NHL games, 2 NBA games, and ex-Twitter advertising during the study period.
Anna had another secret life, one where she spent hours every day helplessly shoveling money into the poker machines. And she's not alone. 100,000 here, 300,000 there. We found case after case of ordinary people who have lost everything because of their addiction to the pokies. For Chris Matthews' 24-year-old daughter, Catherine Nat, it was an all-consuming addiction which only ended when she took her own life 3 years ago.
She said that she couldn't handle it. She felt she'd ruined her marriage because of her gambling. She felt that she was losing her kids.
That's more than 4,000 gambling-related messages. And the problem isn't simply that people see one advertisement. It's repetition. The same message again and again and again.
She blamed everything on the gambling.
That builds influence over time. And this makes betting look
based
less
on
like gambling
theatrics.
over time.
So many. Everyone gets a free bet. We all want to win. Hey, let's win together.
You know what to do. You have music and people dancing and holding hands and spinning around in a wheat field. Like, that is so manipulative. And we are subject to manipulation. And when it's something that is so important, like making critical health decisions, there's so many of these commercials.
The family never places a bet. Here's the part that often gets lost in conversation. When somebody develops a serious gambling problem, the consequences don't stop with the person holding the phone or the sports slip. The family gets pulled into it. Imagine a household where money used to pay the electricity bill disappears. A credit card balance suddenly climbs.
I want to start back. I want to break that. I really want to put my fist right through that glass.
A rent payment is late. A parent starts hiding bank statements. Your partner asks, "Where did the money go?" And the answer isn't always the truth. "I'll fix it next week." Sometimes it's, "I just needed one good bet." Or, "Trust me, this bet'll come through."
I want to put my fist right through that glass, bro. I'm not kidding. I know. I don't get that. I didn't get this upset losing $1,042,000 in Woody Club. You know that? When I lost $1,042,000, I smiled and said, "Nice handshake."
And sometimes nobody says anything at all because shame has entered the house. A gambling problem can transform money into something ordinary, into a constant tension. A grocery purchase becomes an argument. A bank notification becomes frightening. A spouse starts checking their accounts daily. Children may not notice that something has changed even if nobody explains what it is. And that's what makes gambling different from the way it was often advertised. The commercial shows excitement. The family experiences uncertainty. The advertisement shows the winning ticket. The family sees the unpaid bill. The influencer celebrates the big win. Someone else's household may be dealing with the consequences of the losses nobody posted online. The final chapter, the people behind the machine. And maybe that's the part that bothers me the most.
This kind of Squid Game quality to them. Surely this can't be legal.
We keep talking about the bets, the sports, the influencers, the money, but what about the people actually producing these endless games? Think about what we are looking at. A match at 3 in the morning, another at 4, another at 5, and another at 6. No off seasons, no traditional schedule, no crowd waiting outside. Just players showing up and performing again and again because somewhere on the other side of the screen, someone wants another event to gamble on. And it raises a question that is difficult to shake. When do these people actually get time to sleep? When do they go home? When do they see their families? When do they get to do something other than be a player inside of a gambling machine? Because farming gambling opportunities around the clock doesn't feel very human. Human beings need rest. They need time away from work. They need relationships. They need a life that isn't measured into games played, goals scored, and bets placed. But the machine doesn't care whether it's Tuesday morning, 3 o'clock, or Christmas Day. It needs another game, and another market, another opportunity. And if there is money to be made from keeping the betting screens alive, the system has every reason to keep producing. That's what makes the phrase gambling farming. A farm normally produces something that people need: food, crops, livestock. But this kind of operation is producing something entirely different: more opportunities to gamble. And while one group of people is producing the games, another group is watching them from their phones, hoping the next bet will finally turn things around. Maybe they'll pay their credit card. Maybe they'll catch up on rent. Maybe they'll recover what they lost yesterday. Maybe the next bet will be different and it'll be their breakthrough. But the system doesn't need everyone to win. It needs people to keep playing. And that's where this entire story comes full circle. The players on the court isn't necessarily chasing glory. The players watching at home isn't necessarily watching for sports. The influencers, they aren't necessarily showing you the full picture. And the sports book isn't operating because it wants you to walk away richer. Everyone is connected to the same machine, and somewhere in the middle are families stuck in between.
But 1xBet hosts them because they're really good at grabbing people's attention, a lesson the company learned during the pandemic.
So they started looking for other content, and what they came up with was crazy things like snail racing from Vietnam. And then they found people were clicking on it on social media and betting on it too.
Families sitting at a kitchen table wondering where their money went. Partners trying to rebuild trust. Parents worrying about bills. Children watching adults argue over something they don't fully understand. All because something that was once treated as occasional entertainment has become available every minute of every day. So the next time you see one of these games appear on your screen, maybe you don't want to ask who's gonna win. Ask something else. Who's working right now? When do they sleep? Who benefits from all of this? And perhaps most importantly, who pays the price when the gambling stops? Because behind every screen, behind every bet, behind every advertisement, there are human beings. We aren't supposed to work endlessly. We aren't supposed to gamble endlessly. And we certainly aren't supposed to build an entire system that depends on making sure neither ever stops. That's when gambling stops looking like entertainment and starts to look like an industry built around keeping a machine running. Sports bet farming. Now, if you enjoyed this documentary, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next documentary right here. Let's go.
Theatrics.
So many. Everyone gets a free bet. We all want to win. Hey, let's win together.
You know what?
No. Hit big.
21.
What? This is great tonight.
Dude, man, I can't.